Cowboys Nation, how's everyone doing? I know after another tough season, it might not feel great. But here's the thing. The Dallas Cowboys are always aiming to get better. We're all about improving, growing, and getting back to being a team that can make serious noise in the postseason. Before we dive into this exclusive breakdown of what's ahead for America's team, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the latest Cowboys updates. Let's start with the harsh reality of last Sunday, a 41-7 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, a division rival we know all too well. Facing backup quarterbacks, this should have been a winnable game, but instead it turned into one of the worst performances in recent memory. The loss capped a disappointing season where Dallas, once a consistent 12-5 contender, spiraled to a 7-9 record with one game left to play. Injuries, inconsistency, and a tougher schedule than in previous years all played a part. But let's not sugarcoat it. This was a season of missed opportunities. Here's the kicker, Cowboys fans. 2025 isn't shaping up to be any easier. Over the past few years, Dallas benefited from one of the easiest schedules in the league. From 2021 to 2023, they consistently faced weaker competition, helping them rack up wins and make playoff appearances. But this year, the schedule got tougher, and next year, it's going to be a gauntlet. NFC East rivalry gets tougher. The Eagles and Commanders are on the rise with franchise QBs and strong defenses. A brutal AFC West lineup. The Cowboys will face teams like the Chiefs and a revamped Broncos squad under Sean Payton. Strong NFC North teams Jared Goff, Jordan Love, and the Vikings' high-powered offense await. Add to that the possibility of facing the San Francisco 49ers again, a team that's beaten Dallas 4 straight times, and you can see why next year's schedule is being called a nightmare slate. As if the tough schedule wasn't enough, the Cowboys are heading into next year with major injury concerns. Trevon Diggs. After undergoing bone graft surgery on his knee, Diggs might not be ready for the start of next season. DeMarvion Overshown. The rising linebacker tore his ACL, MCL, and PCL, and early reports suggest he'll miss the entire 2025 season. Dak Prescott. While Prescott should be back, his hamstring injury raises questions about his mobility as he enters his age 32 season. These issues will put even more pressure on the front office to make moves in free agency and the draft. But if history is any indication, Jerry Jones may stick to the same draft and develop strategy that hasn't been enough to get the Cowboys over the hump in nearly 3 decades. One glaring issue over the past few seasons has been the offense's over-reliance on CeeDee Lamb. The Cowboys have failed to find a true number 2 receiver to complement Lamb, and it's hurt them in big games. Just look at the league's best offenses, the Eagles, A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. Vikings, Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. Rams, Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. Meanwhile, Dallas is leaning on a fading Brandon Cooks and a tight end, Jake Ferguson, who took a step back this season. If Jerry Jones wants this team to compete, finding another dynamic pass catcher should be a top priority. Here's where things get interesting. The future of head coach Mike McCarthy. Despite the disappointing season, McCarthy has earned support from key players like Dak Prescott and even Jerry Jones. Prescott recently said, "Credit to him, his professionalism and coaching style kept guys ready to play." But will that be enough to save McCarthy's job? Jones, ever the optimist, sees an outstanding future ahead. However, fans know that the Cowboys' problems go deeper than coaching. The front office structure, with Jerry Jones calling the shots, has led to decades of frustration. Until Jones is willing to step back and let football minds take the reins, the Cowboys will struggle to reach their full potential. It's a tough pill to swallow, but maybe it's time for the Cowboys to consider a rebuild. Veterans like Zach Martin and DeMarcus Lawrence may not be around much longer. The offensive line is still finding its footing, and there's no cavalry coming in free agency. Rebuilding could mean parting ways with some fan favorites, but it might be the only way to truly reset and build a contender. The Cowboys currently sit at number 13 in the draft, which could give them a shot at Boise State RB Ashton Jeanty, a dynamic playmaker who could reinvigorate the running game. But even with a strong draft, competing in 2025 will be a challenge given the schedule, injuries, and overall state of the roster. As the 2024 NFL season winds down, one of the hottest topics in Dallas is the future of head coach Mike McCarthy. With the Cowboys sitting at 7-9 and out of playoff contention, questions are swirling about whether McCarthy will remain on the sideline for the 2025 season. It's not just about Dallas anymore. According to NFL insider Jay Glazer, other teams are already eyeing McCarthy as a potential head coach if the Cowboys decide not to renew his contract. That's right, if McCarthy isn't back with the Cowboys, he could be leading another NFL team next season. So what's going on behind the scenes? Let's break it down. Here's the deal. McCarthy's contract expires in 2 weeks. That means Jerry Jones and the Cowboys front office need to make a decision soon. McCarthy has faced a challenging season. Injuries to key players, including Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and others, have left the Cowboys short-handed. Despite these setbacks, McCarthy has managed to lead the team to a 6-8 record through 14 games. While that's not playoff caliber, it's worth noting that the team has shown resilience in the latter half of the season. NFL insider Albert Breer reported that the Cowboys' ownership is impressed with how McCarthy's squad has fought hard, especially in games like last Sunday's victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That win came after the Cowboys were already eliminated from playoff contention, showing the team's commitment to finishing strong under McCarthy's leadership. Jerry Jones has been vocal about his respect for McCarthy's efforts. In a recent interview, Jones said, "Just so we're clear, all I can say is what good of a job he's doing." While that might sound like an endorsement, Jones stopped short of confirming McCarthy's future with the team. "I don't have thoughts that I would share as to anything about what we do with our days after we're through playing this year," Jones added. The decision is clearly weighing on Jones, who has to balance McCarthy's recent success with the team's overall performance during his tenure. If the Cowboys decide not to bring McCarthy back, don't expect him to be out of a job for long. McCarthy's track record as a head coach, including his time with the Green Bay Packers, makes him an attractive candidate for other NFL teams. McCarthy's ability to navigate a challenging season without a starting quarterback, his knack for building competitive teams, and his Super Bowl winning pedigree all contribute to his appeal. According to Glazer, McCarthy is already on the radar for several teams, which could make him one of the hottest coaching candidates this offseason. If McCarthy stays, the Cowboys will likely need to address several key issues to be competitive in 2025 roster depth. Injuries have exposed the team's lack of depth at key positions. Quarterback play, Dak Prescott's health and mobility will be crucial moving forward. Free agency and draft strategy, the Cowboys need to be more aggressive in addressing their roster needs. If McCarthy doesn't return, the Cowboys face the daunting task of finding a new head coach who can build on the foundation McCarthy has laid. One of McCarthy's biggest assets is the support he's earned from players like Dak Prescott. Prescott recently praised McCarthy, saying, "Credit to him, credit to his professionalism, and really his coaching style of being able to get guys ready to play." This kind of player endorsement carries weight, especially in a locker room that has endured a challenging season. Now it's time to hear from you. Should the Cowboys stick with Mike McCarthy or make a coaching change? Is it time for a full rebuild, or can this team still compete with the right moves? What do you want to see in the draft and free agency? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going. Thanks for tuning in, Cowboys Nation. I know it's been a tough season, but there's always hope for the future, whether it's rebuilding or reloading. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates. Let's keep rooting for the boys and see what 2025 has in store. Until next time, stay strong and go Cowboys.